Hello, you. It's me. And I just had to make this quick little video because of something that someone commented on my last video. They said, for heaven's sakes, she has a baby. And I can understand that kind of frustration. But what I responded with is, okay, prove it. And I thought more about that, and I'm like, can she prove it? I mean, if she just said, okay, here's my baby, this is my baby, this is what my baby looks like, and quote unquote it, but of course she's not going to do that because she wants to keep her baby out of the limelight. Now, generally speaking, I would respect that. I completely understand that. But could that be for a more nefarious reason? Let's see. How can we prove that Gypsy had a baby, besides, of course, taking her word for it? Well, we can't say that the baby bumps were real because we could see that a lot of them weren't, changing on the daily, sometimes changing in the hourly. So the baby bumps would not be convincing. Okay. The sonogram. Well, Gypsy said herself that those were fake sonograms that Lifetime set up before they even knew that she was pregnant. So those could easily be faked. So that's not real. All right. The picture that what's his name? Ken. I'm getting everybody's name mixed up now. The picture that Ken posted being in the hospital, well, thanks to Alice down the rabbit hole. I'm just gonna call her Alice. It's a long channel name, but I love it. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite things, just so you know. Anyway, they have shown that that photo looks suspiciously photoshopped. So that is not a reliable receipt. So what's left? What is left to prove that Gypsy has a baby? We haven't heard it. We haven't seen it. And all the other things leading up to the quote-unquote birth were faked and forged, or at the very least, questionable. Now, another comment that I got was that they think that maybe Gypsy had been pregnant and then lost the pregnancy, sadly. But then what is she doing? Just keeping on with the ruse? You know, I thought that actually too. I wondered, was somebody with Gypsy's microdeletion syndrome, I wondered if they could carry a baby to term. And I would imagine it could be possible, but a lot of women lose their first or second pregnancy just naturally without any real understanding of why. It's not an uncommon thing, is what I'm saying. But the question is, then why would she continue with this? So, question again. How can we prove that Gypsy had a baby when everything, every receipt, everything we've seen and heard all looks fake or has proven to be fake? How can we prove that she had a baby besides her saying all the textbook things like, oh, I'm 8 months pregnant and we're nesting and we're doing this. I understood nesting happens maybe 2 weeks before the baby. Although in her case, it was about 2 weeks before the baby, which seems to show that maybe she lied about when she got pregnant. So everything points to suspicious. So how do we know she had a kid? She talks about her baby, calls her baby an it, instead of my daughter. She says my baby a lot, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing. I did that myself, but I also called my child by their name mostly, because they were a person. And I did refer them to, daughter or son, whatever. I'm being intentionally not specific on that, just so you know. I'm not saying that my child was trans or no gender. I think I put out the gender of my child a few times. I try not to, just to keep their lives private because I respect that. But yeah, Gypsy has referred to her daughter as it and the baby, but I very rarely hear her say Aurora, or maybe a cute little nickname, which we all give our children. Maybe Ori or Rah-Rah, or whatever stupid name we come up with as parents. We're always naming, giving them nicknames. I haven't heard anything like that with Gypsy. Nothing. And calling her baby it is questionable at best. I mean, come on. Or I should say questionable at least. But yeah, there's no nicknames. And I think it's really convenient that the dog is also named Aurora. Because how do you talk to a dog? You talk to a dog like you talk to a child. It's really, oh, Aurora, oh, you're such a good girl, such a good girl. I mean, you would say the same type of thing to a child. So is that intentional so that maybe they can take some voice recordings talking to the dog and make it sound like they're talking to a child instead? I think that's also very suspicious. And why would you name your child the same name as your parents' dog? To me, that's also a bit questionable and suspicious. And I can't remember the name that came, because I remember her saying that she's been wanting this name for a long time. I think someone mentioned that she was going to name the child Aurora from Nick, but that was a completely different name. I'm still, again, what proof do we have that Aurora exists besides being a dog? I really haven't seen any evidence, which makes me question it even more. And I am definitely of the mind to say, well, of course, she has a baby. Why would she go through all this, if she didn't have a baby? But what did she really go through except for some fake photos, a fake belly bump, it seems, allegedly. It looked fake to me. And a fake baby that she'll never show anybody except for friends and family who know that it doesn't exist. So you tell me, where's the proof and the evidence that there is a child? Because I just don't really see any real evidence that this child exists. That's all I'm saying. So, and I'm not disparaging the person who made that comment. I actually really like that comment and appreciate it because it just makes you think more. It really does. And I appreciate all my comments. I thank all of you. So much fun answering and reading what you have to say. I love it. In fact, one commenter, I'll add this little in because I thought it was really fun. They said that they are all playing along with Gypsy psychosis, that there is no real baby, and the only real baby she has is those little baby dolls, those real baby dolls, and that they're all kind of playing along with her. I thought that was brilliant, and I'm sure it's already made it to the horror theaters and horror stories, but that makes for a really good one. I like it. My mind just keeps going thinking, oh yeah, they show the ending of the lifetime as her holding this little baby doll, and as they put her in one of those white vans and take her to the psychiatric hospital. It wouldn't be a bad ending, to be frank. But anyway, please, all comments coming in. I love it. I really do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And I'm just glad that you're listening, that you like what I have to say. Thank you. And that's all I got to say.